Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. It's me, the douche.
And me, the bronze.
You know, it's over here, dude. Camera's over here.
Oh, and me, the bronze, dude.
Kib is the strength of the relationship, and I'm the douche of the relationship. And we have a very special
James
guest today, and it's Leon
right
Wu,
here.
my one of my great friends, one of my mentors, Leon Elias Wu. Tell everybody who you are.
Leon,
Hey.
what's up?
Hey everyone. Thanks again for inviting me to this podcast. Big fan of Sugar Pine 7, and I never thought I'd be able to have a chance to speak here, but my name's Leon Wu. I'm the founder of Sharp Suiting and Sharp House. Sharp Suiting is a company that I founded back in 2013, and we're very much inspired by the LGBTQ, POC, and women communities. Strictly before through fashion was where we did our visual activism, but in the last year I've been working on something very special with both James and Clay. And we're launching as not just a fashion company, but also an entertainment company that's focusing on those same communities, and just a lot of cool stuff that we're about to talk about in the next hour.
Yes.
Let's go.
And we're gonna get to none of it.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about dragons.
So dragons are really important to me. I've seen a dragon.
James has actually seen a dragon. This is something that's usually not believable to most people, but James was born from two dragons combined into one dragon, and then that became James.
And
he
then
usurped that.
Yeah, and then that one dragon spontaneously reproduced into
me.
me.
Right.
So
Yeah.
me and the dragon are technically one and the
Roommates.
same. Roommates.
Yeah.
We're technically roommates. I'm trying to get him out of here because he never does his dishes.
He's given him an evictious notice
Evictious?
many times. A vicious notice, dude. A vicious eviction notice. That's where we're going with this.
That's exactly what those two words would equal
Thank
to.
you, dude. Thank you, dude. Leon, it's so cool to have you on, man. I'm glad we got to get you out here, man. Tell us a little bit more about what's it like.
What's what like? Should I use my mic?
Being
Yeah, if you could use
yeah,
your
just
mic.
please use your mic. Please
Can
use
you
your
hear me
mic.
better
yeah.
now?
Yeah, you sound great.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about the latest project that you guys did, or the latest video, anyways, that you guys shot, and then more about what it is you guys are accomplishing over there.
Yeah, sure. Well, so like the latest project that James and I have been and yourself have been working on, it's called the Mixtape Capsule, and it's basically I was a big fan of the 80s and 80s music growing up.
Amen.
And
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I totally wanted to basically take some of our favorites from the 80s and infuse like modern identities and people from the community into that, and just kind of remake these videos, and James was a big part of that. We've been working on it for about a year, and it's going to be debuted and premiered on April 28th, True Colors Day,
True
in
Colors
support
Day,
of
Let's go.
Yep. In support of Cyndi Lauper's nonprofit organization, True Colors United.
It's amazing.
That's so cool.
It's such a pleasure, like, not only working on this project for this past year and being able to, like, make awesome things and work with great people, but then have it actually benefit an amazing organization, So it's not just, like, yeah, we made some cool music videos. It's like, no, we made these awesome music videos and worked with these awesome artists, and it's directly benefiting True Colors, which is fighting against or fighting to help youth homelessness and youth homelessness in the LGBTQ communities around the world, which is awesome because, like, I forget the exact stat, but youth homelessness in that community is like 120% higher than any other community, which is fucked.
Yeah, totally fucked. And, just due to pandemic in general, we're seeing that homelessness is going to be a problem over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
This is kind of our passion project. It's carried a lot of the artists and the crew and, producers like yourself who worked on it over the last year. Has been like kind of for me like an emotional mainstay, right?
Yeah.
Just to carry me through the pandemic. And now what we get to do is use that work that we've worked on together to for a good cause. So
100%. Yeah, I'll tell you, just from my like perspective, I don't know what I would have done this past year without this this project. You know, it's been definitely like my main focus as far as creativity and any sort of like outlet to express creativity, and that's something that like I need in my life, and I struggle sometimes kind of conceiving something on my own, you know, and just like starting from nothing and totally making a project. So being able to work on this with you and like everybody else involved, it definitely helped me out of a huge creative funk that I was in 2019.
I think it probably also helped you not get into an even more intense one too. Like, it gave you like a path. You know what I mean? Like, it gave you a road to stay on, and like even having a path, this whole thing is hard, and you know, we've talked about it a million times, like from our first world problems that we experienced through it, but like having something to focus your passion and your creativity on and work ethic on, you know, all feels good. Even going to a shitty job that you don't like, which this is not that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is
going
just,
to a shitty job
my shitty barista job, man, you know?
No, I mean, as far as like
No,
work
totally.
ethic goes, like you go to
Something to
your
stay
job
busy.
every day.
Like, instead
you
of
come
just,
back feeling rewarded.
like,
you know, you still feel like you accomplished something.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't like it, which this is so much more than that. But like,
it's so important in whatever field you're in, whatever, like you said, like even if it's a job that like isn't your career or isn't your dream job, but it's still something to stay busy,
Have
keep your mind
something.
stimulated, and that even that amount of momentum is so beneficial because like I mean all of 2019, like I worked on a couple things here and there, but for the most part I was just like so like lost, and I was like soul searching,
and you feel hopeless.
Yeah, you're
know?
just like
what's gonna happen?
you still
Nothing
have like
can
that
happen.
optimism that like, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, achieve
yeah.
these things, but I'm not actively taking any steps to like move in that direction. You know, I'm not planting any seeds that are gonna grow. And that's Leon and I and some of the rest of the team with the Mixtape Capsule had a great call the other day, and I really liked, Leon, how you like started that meeting with, you know, everybody say something you're grateful for, and say something, you know, one of your expectations or hopes for this campaign. I think that's like an amazing way to lead a meeting, and that you're such a project manager.
Thank you so much. You know, it's funny because the meeting before, the Friday before, where everybody was on, and you and Lauren were there too, I think I went straight into like the planning.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we ran over a little bit, and I'm like, okay, so have a great weekend, everyone. And then you said, yeah, happy Friday, everyone, after.
Yeah, because I just had forgotten, because days like blend together for me.
Yeah. So that was like, I thought about it for a minute after that, like very intense meeting. And I'm like, hey, we just got to calm down here a little bit. I know we're all excited about launch and stuff, but so much of what we do, like, you know, as our passion project, it's about like enjoying the ride and, you know, not just, you know, finishing it.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
making deadlines. So
yeah, you got to enjoy each part of the process, like the before, the excitement before, the actual doing of it, the finishing of it, and then you get to also enjoy putting it out and that validation that you get from all your hard work.
The
too,
validation,
you know?
the relief of like being finished and just being able to chill for a little while. I know I'm gonna be. I mean, I'm going to Hawaii for 3 weeks in May, so like that's gonna be my time to just.
James and I are going to Hawaii together.
Yeah, just
Totally.
me and Keb.
Just us.
That'd be
Just a couple
sick,
Yeah.
dude. That'd actually be dope.
Yeah, that would actually be so fucking sick, dude.
Just a
And I think
little
we should do that
getaway.
someday.
Well, why don't you come, dude?
You and me.
Just come to Hawaii
When is it?
in May.
I don't know.
I don't know.
why
I don't know if I'm
don't you
comfortable with
know?
I don't know.
Hey, man, why don't you know?
They don't like me in Hawaii for a
Oh,
lot of reasons.
really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, I defecated too many times in and around their you know, their whole domicile. I did what I had to do.
So they don't like you because you went to the bathroom too many times on the island?
Right, on the island, but that was exactly why, because you can't poop like on the street or in a bar. You can't do that there. I guess, you know what I mean? I'm sorry. I thought this was America, land of the
Right.
free,
Home with the free.
home of Morgan Freeman. So,
Well, you can't do that anywhere, man. And we're gonna move on.
okay. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, this whole project, we'll get into it as we go. But what we do here at Beyond the Pine is I wouldn't say we are a structured podcast. I wouldn't say that we're a focused podcast. I wouldn't even say that we're a podcast.
We're more of like a TV show.
We're more of like a late night talk show, you know, Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, late night with Jimmy Fallon.
We're like when porn
But
would
except
come
for
on in the
during the
middle of
day.
the night on a station that your parents didn't know was going to happen. You're
Right.
like, what is this?
Or like when you're
That
flipping,
you end up, and then so you just watch it. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Fucking it came
or,
on. It came,
or maybe
came
it's
on
an
TBS,
ad,
dude.
an ad before the porn.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're the ad before porn, dude. That is exactly what we are.
We are the equivalent of the infomercials for Girls Gone Wild
Yeah.
that would come on.
Are you sick and tired of being a bitch?
That's, dude, just the most like misogynistic, like,
Take your fucking clothes off.
Jesus. Those commercials. I mean, look, every young, I was gonna say young boy, I even think young child in every department would watch those being curious, you know, the Girls Gone
Yeah.
Wild commercials, because it'd be 2 a.m. You're just buzzing because
Yeah.
you're up late and you know you're not supposed to be.
Too many Skittles. Yeah.
And you're flipping through stations. Give me something good. Give me something good.
And then you're like,
Whoa.
I didn't even know they still had those.
Well, not still.
I don't know if they still
I mean,
do
I'm
it.
talking
Yeah.
about when we were 8, 9.
I mean, even when I was like
Yeah.
maybe 13, 14, 15, I remember
25.
By then knowing exactly what time
Yeah.
and what station
And having your alarm
to turn
set.
on in the middle of the night.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was like discovering a pot of gold. Mm-hmm. You the first time you saw it, here's the other thing. Now we're going to take a turn here. My first experience with that genre of film was with VHS tapes that we got by accident because I grew up poor,
Right.
and my family there was like at the dump where you brought your trash, they had this like little thing where you could go in and you could just take shit, and my brother would just take a big fucking like cardboard box full of VHS movies
And
because
just see what
we
was in
didn't
there.
have TV, just see what was in there, bring the whole thing back, watch fucking a couple movies, Gone with the Wind,
Yeah.
shit like that, and then busty babes, the XXX Tentacion eats his ass on like, you know what I mean?
On
Like,
live TV.
those slipped in there. They slipped
Right.
in there, and I think it's important, Leon, that you know how I got involved.
No, it's funny because me and my brother, we would get these VHS tapes or mystery tapes from a friend of his, and we
Yeah.
wouldn't know what was on them, and
Right.
you just the way that VHS works is you kind of dub or record over, so we would think we're watching something like Sesame Street, and then all of a sudden
It would just cut.
Oh my
cut
God.
into like porn or something.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's so
dude.
funny. You
That's
got
so
yours
funny.
from a guy. Kib got his from the dump. It was the same. It was the same guy who ran the dump.
What are we going to do now?
And
And then fucking 2
Yeah.
seconds later.
Yeah, but then there was one time that like all of a sudden, the screen started to change and we thought it was going to be more porn, and then it went into Faces of Death, and that was awful.
Jesus
That's still
Christ.
very traumatizing for me.
Yeah, I still did what I had to do, but I wasn't happy about it.
Oh man. So this is
I don't know if you guys even know about that, but it's the worst thing ever.
Faces of Death.
Yeah, it's
I feel like
the
I've
worst
heard of
thing
that.
ever.
What is that?
Is that
Yeah.
a really famous?
like controversial film?
It is like footage of people like actually dying.
Okay, I'm not gonna Google that. I began to
Yeah.
Google it, and now I know what
No,
it is.
you
I
don't
need
want
to
that.
see
You don't want your cookies to remember that.
No. Speaking
Yeah.
of remembering cookies and eating cookies and shit, man. We were talking briefly about the dark web before this,
Right.
And how intense that whole world is. And I was like, actually, I've been on the dark web. And before you think it's weird, it was actually me and my dad we talk about everything, and we're so curious about the internet. We're talking about the dark web, and we're like, you actually can go on the dark web. Started looking it up and found the dark web versus the deep web, and how the dark web is just you get a browser called Tor browser, and then you can go to the websites on the dark web which are called dot onions or something. So I've been on there. We were like, what is this? Like, let's investigate. And we go on there, and within 2 minutes, you go on and the homepage takes you to basically a compilation, or not compilation, but a list of all the websites that are there. And it's like guns and every other thing you can imagine, links with the names. And we're just like, and delete.
Yeah.
Delete Tor forever.
So that's just like the homepage? That's like the
not,
directory?
It's one of them. From what I remember, I don't really remember it, but it's like, it might as well be like you open it up and then I think immediately it advertises like something wiki. It's like, and I don't know why wiki's the thing, but the wiki thing was where it had all the websites that you could go to.
Yeah.
And we did our research beforehand, so we knew we wouldn't fucking accidentally click some bullshit. But it was like, what is this? and how real is the ability? Could I go on and buy drugs and guns and bullshit? I guess you can, but you got to imagine that in 2021, the fucking FBI or whatever, there's no way they can't track that anymore.
Oh, dude,
they
100%,
used to not be able to, but there's
easily.
no way they can't track
It's
that.
all a game, dude, because like they know like all the law enforcement agencies and stuff, the big ones like NSA, FBI, CIA, and shit. Dude, they know everything that's going on, but they're strategic with what they act on. You know what I mean? Like, they're not. If there's this huge operation, they're going to be tracking it and observing it for years, gathering all that intel and everything before they.
And anytime you go to do anything, you're pinging the government.
Yeah.
Like I imagine if you download the Tor browser, they're like, okay, this fucking freak's going on the dark web. We know that for sure.
Let's tap his computer. Let's see what he's doing. Let's remotely view his desktop.
Just watching him through the fucking camera. But so I just remembered something too about the dark web. I think the dark web is stuff that is on the internet database, and it's just stuff that you can't access with normal browsers. And then the dark web is beyond that in a different server, or the deep web is its own server, or it's something that I don't know how that shit works, but I know that there's a great difference between the two.
That's something I would never. I'm not interested in looking at.
The deep or the dark?
The deep for sure. The dark probably.
The dark, yeah. Like, but when you're younger and you're just fascinated about like what is this, and can you get in trouble from even just going on it at all? But now it's like watch a YouTube video.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's a ton of them that talk
watch
about
a documentary of someone cruising. I'm sure there's a million YouTube videos of someone like cruising.
I've watched
the dark
500,000
web.
of them.
Yeah, all of them.
I watched one. Actually, it was really interesting. It was about the Silk Road, which is like
I think I've seen that.
It was like a long, like hour-long, like documentary on
that.
On
actually
YouTube.
might have been what I watched with my dad that got us curious about it, because it was like they just were telling you what it was, right? The dark web.
This video like went in depth
specifically about the Silk Road.
The Silk Road and the guy who's like created it, and he was like some young dude. He like when he eventually got arrested for putting a hit out on someone.
I did see that.
It's so interesting. He was like I think maybe like 25 or 26. Like really young, like this guy created it when he was like a late teenager. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
I'm
like,
26 now.
You're 26 now. I'm 26 now.
It's my birthday today. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday, Kib!
It's my birthday today. Sorry to interrupt you.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. James forgot my birthday, everybody. I was like...
So, what would you like from the dark web for your birthday?
Okay, I want some exotic animal that shouldn't exist.
Okay. Like a hybrid?
I want a cross between like a pony lizard hybrid.
Okay, you want us to surprise you with, or do you have a preference?
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be alive. You could just cut a horse in half, sew the back end of a lizard to it, something like that. Stuff it. I'll put it up and say, dude, this thing existed.
Thick to this thick.
Just this massive open fucking severed horseback.
Absolutely.
That reminds me of that movie with The Cell, where they did like the intersections of the horse. Do you guys remember that movie?
The Cell. Is that the one with J.Lo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched that movie once a long time ago. But I remember it being like really fucking creepy and horrific and graphic.
Very horrific and graphic. Yeah. A lot of visual imagery.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen The Fly?
The Fly?
Yes. I just rewatched. Have you guys seen it again?
I haven't seen it recently. No, I saw it a long time ago.
No. Me too.
Oh,
but
God,
David Cronenberg, he's master. Master
Yeah.
of body
memory
horror.
of watching it. I remember watching it, and it still felt super old when I watched it fucking 7 years ago or something. But when I finished that movie, I was like, they don't make movies like this anymore.
They don't.
Like, I was so enthralled, and it was so original and interesting, and the script was good, and the acting was good. It was just like everything was fabulous, and I was like, I can't even think of another movie that has been made in my lifetime that is good like this.
It's that 80s practical effects that were like... out of this world. Like I love practical effects. It's just to me
James
like
does love practical effects.
love practical effects. That's the definition of like movie magic in my opinion. Like growing up, all the movies that I loved were all like 80s movies, you know, like 80s like Terminator, The Thing, fucking Blue's Clues. And they have great practical effects in Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those practical effects were like the things obviously like watching now, you're like, okay, that's easily like a creative
corn syrup
thing.
and carrots. Yeah.
Carrots for fingers. But like, I just love it. Like the scene in, you know, like all the in the original Terminator, like the scene when Arnold's like looking in the mirror and he's like cutting out his eye, and then it cuts to the shot of him, and it's clearly just like an animatronic, like
Yeah.
But like, I love that shit, dude. That's just like that.
Yeah,
that's
it was
movies.
like intentional, and it was like it was its own thing. It was like, this is exactly what we want you to feel and see. Dude, and when I was growing up, man, that's what I wanted, dude. I wanted my parents not to tell me, don't worry, this isn't real. I wanted them to go, well, technically, this is real. You know what I mean? That blood that you're seeing right there, it's not CGI. It's not technically fake. It's just not what you think it is.
Honestly,
I wanted
CGI
to feel
blood, fuck CGI blood.
Yeah,
Don't
dude,
use CGI blood.
What is it with CGIing things, including blood, that they don't render it in the correct frame rate or something? It always ends up looking like it moves faster, or there's more frames in the rendered out blood than there is in the way. Like you gotta animate it and render it out in the same frame rate that it was shot and rendered in.
The way
actual,
it's colored and everything, it just stands out. Like
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think I've ever
always,
seen
like, darker.
CGI blood that I'm like not like aware of. I like see it, like whether it's like a spray or like a splat on something. I'm just like, you couldn't just like squirt a little bit of blood. Like, come on.
Yeah, a couple ketchup packets from
Come
McDonald's,
on.
man. Step on it.
Yeah, you
know
just
what
fucking
I mean?
come on.
Someone right below frame.
Can we where's the ketchup guy? Get the ketchup guy here.
Hey.
He just dressed in like a big ketchup costume.
It's a sponsor, just a set sponsor.
Just ketchup.
Yeah.
Just generic ketchup.
Yeah, dude, I love The Fly. It was such a good movie, and I definitely want to rewatch it.
I want to
been
rewatch
way
it too.
Long.
Yeah, that movie
Let's do a watch
and
party.
The Thing, especially like The Thing's. The Thing, I think, is one of the greatest movies of all time. You both have seen.
It's
Thing,
really
right?
good. Yeah, I saw. I don't know if it's one
I
of
haven't
the greatest
seen it in a
movies of all
while.
time, but it's a
I think it's one of the
rewatch,
greatest of all
Leon.
time.
That's a bold statement.
Definitely one of the greatest horrors of all time.
I'll have to rewatch
Bold.
it.
Still bold, but it's very good. You know, there's a lot of really great newer ones like The Witch, The Lighthouse. Like, there's a lot of new ones where you're like, oh, my fucking ass is on fire. Dude.
What's your
that movie was like?
What's your
you know.
top 5 horrors? And I feel like we've talked about this, but this can change. And Leon, I want to hear yours too, because Leon, you and I talk about horror all the time, and we want to make a horror movie eventually.
Hey, we will. We definitely
Cast
will.
me. Cast
All
me.
of
I'd
us.
love to be in a horror film.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe, dude. That's a big maybe.
Dude, I will do so well. You don't even know. It won't be like The Woods, dude. I'll take classes, man. It'll be
Dude,
awesome.
The
I know we can do
Woods.
this. I know we can do this. My top 5, man, in no particular order. You know, the Woods for sure was probably my number 1.
In no particular
The Witch-
order, The Woods number 1.
The Woods number 1 by far. The Witch, The Lighthouse. I'm forgetting a lot. I have no memory. Do you know the ones I love, James?
What Dreams May Come.
What Dreams May Come
with Robin Williams.
I love that
I just
movie.
know you love that movie.
It's really touching, man. Those are 2 huge ones. I'm forgetting every single one. There's some that I'd have to rewatch that are in my memory as like these are some of my favorites that I don't remember anymore. Like, is it 60 Days of Night or something like that?
30 Days of Night, the vampire
30
one?
Days of Night. There was one
The
of those
vampire
that
one
I
that's
actually
in
fucked with big
where they're in
time.
Alaska?
No, this one they're in like the desert.
Oh, From Dusk
I
Till
think.
Dawn.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
With
Is that
George
worth
Clooney?
one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that was a good one.
Okay.
I love that
Okay,
movie.
good.
Dude,
So-
Quentin Tarantino wrote
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Yep.
amazing.
And then
Cool.
Robert Rodriguez directed it. They're like a great team when
Oh.
they work together. Because Robert
Yeah.
Rodriguez has like that.
Robert Rodriguez is fantastic.
Dude, he's so sick. And he also directed Spy Kids, which is sick.
I forgot
He's
about
dope,
that.
dude.
I just watched that
I love
recently.
his like grindhouse. Grindhouse, like really gritty like style. Like
Me too.
I actually watched a bunch of like interviews and BTS stuff of his first film before I think it's El Mariachi was the first one with Antonio Banderas,
Mariachi.
where he's like the
I
hitman,
love
but he's
Antonio
also
Banderas.
in the mariachi band, which then they did like Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and then
Doesn't he carry around a gun in like
in a
case or
guitar
something
case?
in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's
So
fucking
sick.
awesome.
Super
Yeah.
gritty, like crime, like indie, amateur kind of feel, but like it's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are 3 that you like. What about you, Leon?
Yeah, Leon, let me think while you give us some of yours.
Yeah, okay. I definitely like The Witch too. That's a fairly modern one that's really good because it's all psychological.
So good.
I do love, James and I are big fans of the director for Hereditary and Midsommar, right?
Ari Aster.
Yeah.
And he's working on his next film right now.
Ari Alabaster,
Yes,
dude.
he is.
With Joaquin
Yeah,
Phoenix, I'm
yeah.
pretty sure, is the lead.
Yes.
Oh my God.
it's
Yeah,
crazy.
I know.
It's about like
it's gonna be off the hook.
Yeah, I think it's about a businessman, or like a tech businessman, something. I don't remember exactly, but it's like it seems like it's a different kind of realm, because Hereditary and Midsommar are both like, for the most part, like family focused kind of horror psychological thrillers. And so I'm interested to see him kind of like go in a different direction, but still, I mean, it's going to be trippy and crazy.
Jennifer's Body.
Dude, Jennifer's Body.
Never heard of it.
Really?
I'm going to have to put that on my list.
With
It's not good.
No, it's
It's
entertaining.
Not bad.
It's entertaining.
It's actually not bad,
Yeah,
but no,
with
it's not.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox, dude. Yeah, I used to have a
Okay,
little
then I
crush
definitely
on
have to
her, man.
watch. Yeah, of course. Everyone did.
Of course, everyone did
but
until
yeah,
like
I mean,
7.
I broke up with her though.
And now she's dating MGK.
Yeah. He gets my sloppy seconds. So.
Imagine.
Dude, tweet that out. MGK gets my sloppy seconds with Megan Fox.
You should do it, dude. I'm not going to do it. Why would I do it?
No, I'm not gonna do it. Leon, you should do it. What else? So without just saying, I love the directors and I want to hear about the directors, but give us like the movies, the top 5, the movies.
And if top 5 is too hard, we can just talk about
Top
the
3,
ones that come.
a couple.
Yeah, the ones that like come straight to your head, because I know I have like the ones that I first think of, but then there are other ones that are maybe more modern that I really love. But I'm a big fan of like classic like 80s, 70s horror and stuff.
What about Texas Chainsaw? That's a good one.
The original?
Dude,
I haven't seen that. Oh, I saw the
all
new
of
one.
them,
It was
all
dog
of them.
shit. That's my only memory of it. The new one, it's called something else.
Is it the
Yeah.
newest one?
Yeah, the
it's-
shitty
it's
one
called
from like 5 years ago.
It's called like just Texas Chainsaw or something.
Yeah,
Or it's called like
and
just
it was dog
Chainsaw.
shit.
They
Chainsaw.
ran out of things to call it.
Chainsaw Blood Day.
No, but the good ones, the original 70s and the 80s ones,
Yeah.
those are great. They all end with him twirling around
Dude,
with the
yeah.
chainsaw. But in the 70s, he's got 70s hairstyle. And the 80s ones, he's
Cool.
got like, some Jerry curls or something. So
Because they have to
Yeah.
make the hairstyles on point. You have to be able to
It
pinpoint the
has-
decade based on the hairstyle of everyone.
By the hair and the pants.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, because 70s, the pants were very loose at the bottom. 80s, they were very tight around the buttocks.
Yes, big butts.
Thick
in the
jean
80s.
material in the 80s. Very thick
Yeah,
jean.
inch thick
thick
jeans.
jeans. Very hard to move around in, but they're very tight.
Cannot breathe in those.
Yeah.
So what you got for us, Leon? What are you thinking?
oh, jeez, what else? Have you guys seen Black Coat's Daughter? That's a
No.
little bit psychological too. That one is available on Netflix, I think, still. But definitely check that one out. And gosh, there's so many. The thing about horror films is that they're always good, even if they're bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I agree. Like I'm thinking like Shutter Island, and I watched it recently,
Well,
but I'm like,
Shutter Island's great.
oh, that might be up there for me, top 10 at least.
Oh,
you
Shutter
know?
Island is fantastic. That's Martin Scorsese.
Yeah. Oh, baby, I didn't even know that.
That's an amazing
Wow.
film.
I love
Yeah.
it.
That's so
What
fucking
about there's Wrong Turn? Have you guys seen
Yeah.
that too?
Sounds
good.
familiar.
Wrong Turn.
Like
Dude,
when you
yeah.
guys were talking
all
about
those
the
like
woods earlier.
Yeah. All those like mid 2000s like inbred cannibal horror movies. That was
Oh,
like a trend.
I love inbred cannibal horror
Wrong
movies.
Turn.
Wait, what's that one?
Hills Have
The
Eyes.
Hills Have Eyes?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, The Hills Have Eyes is one of my
Well,
favorites.
the Hills Have Eyes are a remake from
Really?
that's actually Wes Craven. Yeah. The original ones were, or at least the first original one was Wes Craven, the fucking master. Wes Craven,
The Hills
John
Have Eyes fucked me
Carpenter,
up as a
David
kid.
Cronenberg, George Romero. Those are like the horror icons.
George
the OGs.
Washington.
George
Yeah.
Washington, Lawrence
He's a
Fishburne,
huge horror.
Morpheus.
Oh, man. Morpheus, Malfoy, fucking all of them.
Just saying names. Oh, I love them.
Oh, they're great.
Cool. Well, I guess.
Yeah, dude, The Hills Have Eyes fucked me up, man. I remember watching that and being like, damn, dude, I'm going to get eaten by a fucking inbred hillbilly someday.
That movie, yeah. And that was like, too, I'm sorry if I get like way too into like filmy stuff, but I just know so much about like film. Ugh.
You're so heady, bro. Yeah, tell me.
So the remake, the 2005 remake of Hills Have Eyes was directed by, I forget his name, but a French director. And at that same time, there was this new wave of horror in French. Called
Do you have any French sauce?
The French New Wave of horror, which was like Martyrs, Frontiers, like all these super, super graphic, like very psychological, but like just very gritty and graphic. But also like thematically kind of intelligent, like horror movies, like Martyrs, which you think of as, I don't know if you guys have heard of Martyrs, but it's like, you think of it as just like one of the most graphic, controversial films, but the subject matter.
I think Bone Tomahawk with that.
Yeah, Bone Tomahawk's crazy. Fuck, dude. Fuck that movie,
It's
man.
like, don't watch Bone Tomahawk, you know?
I like that director a lot, though. But anyways, before I just start talking about everything, so that French director who was part of that French New Wave of horror directed the Hills Have Eyes remake, which is an American film, and you can see a lot of that like inspiration of that film movement in that movie because it's very graphic, but it's still very like, it's well shot. It's great cinematography. It's like well paced. It's a good movie for being just like a horror movie remake. You know what I mean? Hey players, I just wanted to give a huge shout out and big thanks to our sponsor of today's episode, DoorDash. You want Chinese, they want pizza, and someone's craving froyo. There's something for everyone on DoorDash. Just the other night, your boy was craving some Panda Express, as I do pretty much at least once a week, sometimes more, never less than one time. So I ordered that on DoorDash, and it was extremely easy, and my order came 100% correct, which I love. DoorDash connects you with the restaurants that you love, right now and right to your door. You can get the grocery essentials you need with DoorDash too. Get drinks, snacks, and other household items delivered in under an hour. Ordering is super easy. Open the DoorDash app, choose what you want from where you want, and your items will be left safely outside your door with the contactless delivery drop-off setting. With over 300,000 partners in the US, Puerto Rico, Canada, and now Australia, you can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Popeyes, Chipotle, and Cheesecake Factory. For a limited time, our listeners can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code PINE2021. And for you Australian listeners, the code is PINEAUS. That's 25% off up to a $10 value and 0 delivery fees on your order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code PINE2021 and PINEAUS in Australia. Don't forget, that's code PINE2021 and PINEAUS in Australia for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Thank you so much, DoorDash, for sponsoring this episode, and back to the show.
That's interesting. There's another French film that I'm trying to remember, and I just looked it up right now. It's called High Tension.
Oh,
also
exactly.
A French horror film.
That's part of that movement
so
too.
Crazy, yeah. And it's about that psychotic truck driver, and there's like one part where he's like watching from the distance in his truck. It's so gross. And
we know that scene. Well,
you
and I know that scene.
Should I even mention it?
Sure.
Should I mention it or no?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's awful.
I can paint a picture of it for you.
Oh God, he had a severed head.
Please?
He had a severed head, and he was making the severed head, give head to him while he was watching.
He was getting
his
severed
next-
head.
He was getting severed head, dude.
Yeah, which is just
Disgusting.
like
I
such a
wish.
disturbing imagery. But that's what that whole movement is about. Just like that very he's in the truck and you don't see him really. And he's watching from afar, but there's like some movement in the truck, and then there's like a shot of the ground right next to it, and he just tosses the head out, and the mouth is open, and then he just drives away.
That's when they fucking like nailed shock value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like now shock value is this totally different thing. But back then it was
Totally.
watching a dark movie and it not being an expected thing to happen. And then it's just so far beyond what you could have ever imagined
that it affects
would
you.
happen. that's the correct shock value. It shouldn't just be like in your face to be in your face and like, oh, they said the N-word and now he's doing her. You know what I mean? Like it's gotta be like this totally like, I don't know. They just killed it like that. You know what I mean? Like
for sure. Because
it's all just cheap now.
It started as like something that was pure and like exciting and new and artistic because it didn't overpower like the story or the direction at all. It was an added thing to help like amplify it.
And to give context to just how fucked up the people are involved in whatever scene that is.
And then it became popular. So then they fucking started pounding that shit everywhere. And then we got all the Saw remakes and all the fucking Hostel remakes.
Yeah,
and all that
like
shit.
Exactly. Saw's a guilty pleasure for me because
Saw
it was like
1
a scary
is
thing to watch.
Saw 1 is like textbook how to make a low budget horror movie in my opinion because it's contained. The story's simple but very like compelling. And it's not even that gory. The first Saw movie's not that gory. It's more focused on the story, which is so good, and the ending fucking
and I think
is insane. And then they just like
they nailed shock value there too because it was also kind of the first of its kind with that whole like fucking torture porn style of horror, and that was great. And I mean, maybe it wasn't actually the first of its kind, but it's first that was popularized in my world of seeing something like that. And it was like, again, same thing. You're like, oh my God, this whole movie is shock value, but it worked. And then, 4 or 5 fucking Saws later, you're like, well, we know what's going to happen. They're going to be cutting their fucking face off for the whole film. You know what I mean? So
they're going to be fucking stuck with needles and injected with acid.
Yeah. And then it was just a matter of like, how are they going to torture these people in this film?
Exactly.
That's
it started out as like the story, and then it became like, okay, well, what traps are they going to do this time? Because we've already seen it all.
Which in itself was still kind of cool. I don't know about 5, 6 of them, but like 3 would have been dope.
Yeah.
3 end it after 3. A trilogy of Saw would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one was it where he made the people compete with each other, and there's like this businesswoman and there's like this other person?
Oh, right. That could be any of them. That could honestly be any of them. That could be 4, 5, 6, or 7. Because I think that maybe like 4 was the first time they did that. Or I don't even remember. And then it became like the thing from then moving forward.
It became
was
a
like
model.
A group of people, of 6 people or something. And they were like going through each test. And then that it's going to eventually only be one. And it's like...
Dude, the most memorable scene from Saw for me is the kitchen knives where the guy has to push his face through it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The most memorable fucked me up. I think it contributed to a phobia of straight razor cuts.
You do have a phobia.
That I will pass out.
Yeah.
And get dropped fucking dead, dude. Sorry to interrupt you there. It's just I had to
I
was going to pass out.
I had to get that out. Whoa.
All of them are so bad. Yeah, I don't know if I could watch those again. That and what was the other one? The Hostel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to mention that earlier. Yeah, great film.
Same thing is the first Hostel I think is misremembered by a lot of people.
Right. I agree.
It's like the torture stuff doesn't even start till like halfway through, and it's like a commentary and almost a satire on like arrogant American tourists who think that because they're American, this like gusto that American like patriotism is and stuff like that. You just think you're untouchable, and you go and even it's like I'm pretty sure it's even like a commentary on like imperialism and stuff too, because like going to these different countries and just like not appreciating or respecting the cultures of where you're going, but going there and kind of like warping it to your image and what you want out of it and stuff like that. And that's what that movie is. And like the main characters, like that group of friends who are the tourists, they're like assholes. They're like douchebags.
Yeah.
And then they fucking get what's coming to them in a way. Like that's what the whole
the Americans were worth the most, right? And like
exactly. It's
in
like
the whole
50K
trade of
or
things.
some shit. Yeah.
$50K for American, and then 35 for European.
50,000 on my head is disrespect.
Do you guys remember the film where it might be Hostel or it was a different one, but it was specifically about this woman who was taken and put into a room, and it's not room, but she was like chained up in a room in a different country.
Is it Taken?
It might be Taken. I don't know.
And then Liam Neeson is the dad?
No. It's more indie and like it might be made by like a German or a European director or something like that. I remember it, or maybe it was just that's where they were taken or something like that. Like what? I don't think it was Taken. Taken's really old. This was old, but like
No, Taken's
not that old.
I don't even remember when the first Taken was out. Like 2010.
I remember this one being much more like, I don't know, not American.
Well, I'm gonna need some more details from you. So while you're thinking of that, I have a story for you guys.
Give me a story for me.
Last night something happened to me.
What happened, James?
So Lauren and I, we made some delicious chicken wings for dinner.
No. Shit.
And that's it, man. That's the story. So we've been going crazy with the air fryer lately, right? Air fryer is amazing. So we air fried the chicken wings with some lemon pepper, did some lemon pepper wings. Delicious. I had about 18 of them.
It's too many wings.
Nothing like eating 18 wings and nothing else. That's my whole dinner. And then afterwards, I was there's a new season of The Circle on Netflix. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Circle. Love The Circle. It's a great thing to binge watch. It's like a reality show based on so there's I think 8 contestants, and they each are like in a little apartment, and they can only interact with each other via The Circle, which is like this social media thing that's on their screens. And
I
stuff.
did see some of that. Yeah.
It's great. I love it. It's so fun. Like a social media competition, like whoever ends up being the most popular wins like 100K.
Oh yeah, I saw some of that.
So there's a new season of that. So we were like, dope, let's watch that. But I'm really gonna want some dessert if we're gonna get into this show, because I wanna be gluttonous while I'm watching this show. So we don't have any sweets in the house, so I ordered some Cold Stone, which I love.
Cold Stone Creamery.
Love Cold Stone. Cold Stone.
Yum 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 yum.
That's a yum yum ice cream for sure. Just gluttonous, the highest fat content of any ice cream on earth.
Straight
so
cow fat.
when I get Cold Stone, I like to be a little extra. So I got the biggest size that they have, which is the gotta have it.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
Which is a cup about this big.
Oh, good God.
Filled to the brim.
Poof.
Even more on top. I got cake batter ice cream with double Reese's peanut butter cups mixed in. And so I get that, and I eat it in record timing.
Yes, you did.
I ate it in about 3 minutes.
Didn't you? Yeah.
It's so cold. So I ate it in record timing, and in equally record timing, I feel the effects of it inside.
Yeah.
Because as I've gotten older, I realized, as I'm sure, I think a lot of people realize this as they get older, you become a little bit lactose intolerant. You become a little bit more sensitive to dairy, especially cream and milk and ice cream and stuff. Cheese isn't that bad. Cheese is dope. I love cheese.
I love Cheez-Its.
I love Cheez-Its. So I eat it so fast, and I'm feeling it, and I feel like the pressure and the gurgle in my stomach, and I'm like, oh fuck. And I feel a fart coming on, so I let the fart out, and then right after the fart comes out, I feel. Just picture this is my exit hole.
Okay, where's the entry hole? Where's the entry wound?
And I feel just
wow. Okay.
Leon,
so here's the exit wound.
Leon, I love you. I feel close enough that we can have these conversations. And I feel this intense rush. I feel pressure at the floodgates.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, pause. Lauren, I need to go to the bathroom. Lauren, I have to go to the bathroom.
Lauren, I'm going to the bathroom.
And I'm just going to say it. I feel like I can be honest. I don't have to hide myself and censor myself in front of you guys.
No, don't censor yourself in front of us, guys.
I had
doo-doo in the pants?
I had biblical plague level diarrhea.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
Instantly. Like less than 2 minutes after I finished eating that ice cream.
Like a poop that's not your choice.
It's not my choice. It was an emergency.
No.
No,
it was written in the stars. Yeah. Miles away.
Yeah, exactly. It was written in stone. It was foreseen.
Yeah, this was actually on the Declaration of Independence that this would happen to James.
It was written on the 10 Commandments.
Yeah. Thou shalt shit James's pants.
But that's a commandment to everyone. Everyone has to shit my pants.
People are really.
So that happened, and boy, as quickly as it came upon me, it was gone. I took care of business and I was fine.
Aw,
but
that's so sad.
yeah, I know. I really was like,
You missed it.
I missed it. It's like, you don't know what you have until it's gone.
I feel like I lost a piece of me, man.
So that was my night last night. But thankfully, right afterwards, I was fine. I got it all out. But boy,
Wow.
like just the time.
Boy, oh boy.
During this whole experience was a matter
Damn,
of
girl.
ice cream came here, transferred it to a bowl, wolfed that shit down.
Unfortunate.
It fucking did a number on me. I let it out,
Dude.
Yeah.
and I'm fine. 5 minutes.
It had its
Yeah.
way with you, dude. It had its way with you, man. It kind of, it fucked and chucked you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It entered and exited, and it's gonna feel bad about it later. I think when it's sitting there being like, James. I'm sorry, James.
So yeah, that was my night last
caught up.
night.
That's incredible, man. That's incredible. I mean, I also have a story to share, and you won't be able to fully enjoy it now, but I got a haircut about a week ago, and
And you had diarrhea?
God, I hope she doesn't hear this. No, but I got a haircut from long hair to way too short, and it was the worst haircut I've had in 10 years. That I was literally depressed for a night. I couldn't believe
feel
it.
that.
It was like she's given me several great cuts, and then this was like, oh my God, it's like and I feel so bad saying this, it's like a child was handed scissors and it was done. And I can't believe she let it go and thought it looked good. It looked like you would have laughed your ass off. So I had to get it fixed, and now it's fixed and it looks good. But I couldn't fucking believe it, man. It ruined 48 hours for me. It stripped me of my confidence, and I was like, I looked in the mirror and I didn't even see me. I looked in the mirror and I was like, I look so fucking bad. This is not a haircut. What happened? I couldn't believe it. And I kept asking everyone. I was like, what happened? What did she fucking do to me? How could she go like, and done?
Wow.
It was that bad, dude, that no one would look at the haircut and go, oh, that's good.
Was it like
this is
not ideal lighting? Maybe was she cutting and it was kind of like...
She was talking a lot. She was talking a lot the whole time. She also fucked up Steve's hair too.
Oh, no.
His hair's like, I got the worst of it, but Steve's hair's kind of fucked too.
Oh no.
Steve doesn't have a perm anymore?
He does have a perm, but it's all like straight chopped cut. It looks like it's as if we cut our own hair.
Wow.
Like and cut it a lot
Yeah.
with fucking scissors in the mirror. And I feel really bad saying that because she has killed it so many times, but it was just so god awful. But I still tipped her.
Well, yeah.
Oh, do you think it's because of just lack of practice during pandemic days, or?
Well, she's done so well. It was unbelievable. It was like as if she's never cut hair before.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she was
isn't it
distracted,
like riding
having
a
a bad
bike. Like
day.
even if you don't do it for a long
Yeah.
time, you still good at
I
it.
think
so.
that's how it is normally. That's why I had all the confidence in the world, and I normally was.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I like the sides to come over my eyes here, and then it ended up here.
Yeah. Do you think?
So it was
maybe
just like-
she's upset with you or Stevie? or?
No. She was laughing and having a good time, and we were
She's
having
like,
a great time.
yeah,
and
it
everything.
looks fucking
She's gonna
great.
be upset with me now. She's gonna be upset with me now, and I mean no ill will. It's just I wasn't mad.
Well, you're
I
not
was
saying
just
their
like,
name, man. It's fine.
right.
What's
I know,
their-
but
what's
if it gets
their
back to her name. Well, ask me her name. I'll tell you her name. I'm not making this up. No, I mean, if this did get to her, I apologize for even saying this, but this is what we talk about. We talk about our lives and what goes on in our lives on this podcast a lot of the time.
Right.
And it was, I just hope that never happens again. And I don't think I'll ever get a haircut by this person again.
Hey,
now.
bro. I mean, I've been there, man.
Oh.
I've gotten bad haircuts before, and I've been absolutely livid to the point where I not only switched barbers, but moved.
Yeah. Couldn't let anyone see you
Yeah.
anymore. It was that bad.
But she's done a great job beforehand. So just this one time, and you don't want her as barber anymore.
Because it was so bad. Because it
Makes
was
sense.
like now I can't trust her. Now I can't go in and be
Yeah.
like, hey, you did a bad job last time. Like it was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is a different person cutting my hair. It was
Right.
so like I know you can't even imagine it. But it was so bad that I was like, this person can never touch my hair again.
Right.
But
Which sucks
you don't
because
even
she was
wanna
so
give
good.
her the feedback. Maybe just let her know.
I'm terrified. I don't want to upset her. I don't want to make her feel
ghost
bad.
her. Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes ghosting is the best thing to do.
And it's like we usually reach out to her to come cut multiple people's hair. So now it's just like I'm just not going to reach out. And if I don't think anybody is now.
Yeah, because they all saw.
Wow.
And yeah, and all experienced it themselves.
Yeah.
You know. So, I mean, I know that wasn't the most exciting story in the world, but it really affected me, and I wanted to let
For
you guys
sure.
know.
Yeah, you
Leon,
got to let that out.
No,
I'm human
actually-
too. I'm human too.
It's just very interesting how all of a sudden everyone on this one time just bad haircuts. All of a sudden.
That's literally what my biggest question was. I was accepting how terrible I looked, and that was hard enough. You know what I mean? Just to have all your confidence stripped from you, and then I was in awe. I was like quiet the whole night, and I was like, "What happened? How did this happen? How could this happen? How did she like what she ended with? Maybe she didn't care. Maybe was she drunk? Was she high? Was she,
But
like,
even
that
still,
will forever be a mystery.
Like, I feel like if it's your profession and it's something that you do all the time, even if you're like a little drunk or a little high, like I feel like you'd still be able to do it. It's not like
the person
trying a brand new
that also
thing.
cuts my hair. We did it drunk and colored it. I dyed it again, and we would get drunk and fucking have the hair done there too, and it would be amazing every time. So it's just a mystery that I will never get the answer to.
No.
Of course, unless I talk to her about it. But I'm too afraid of confrontation to do that.
Right.
So it's just a mystery. I'm gonna have to die and leave to my grave.
Yeah, well, what if you did tell her and she said something like her mom died or something? Would you feel bad after that?
Yeah, would you feel bad?
I would feel bad, but then I would also think, you still have a responsibility to A, not cut my hair.
Dude, you don't even let her off the hook. She had a death in
No,
the
I
family.
wouldn't
You don't
say
let her
that.
off the hook.
I would let her off the hook to her so that it was her conscience felt cleared. But then I would still never get a haircut from her.
Right,
again.
and that's fine. You know what? You don't
Yeah,
have any
yeah.
responsibility to do that.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, whatever happened, it's not your responsibility. Whatever happened to make her
Right.
give bad haircuts.
I empathize heavily, but you no longer have my business because it's still, I'm paying to get a haircut. You know what I mean? There's trust there, and I can't get a haircut from someone knowing that it could literally ruin the next 3 weeks of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah.
dramatic, but like literally, I like, if my hair looks good and I'm wearing clothes I like, I feel good that day. I feel confident in myself. It's such
Totally.
a big part of my confidence for some reason.
Same.
And if my hair looks terrible like that, I literally feel like a shill of my fucking life. I'm just like unconfident and feel really insecure, and like I can't walk around all day feeling constantly obsessively insecure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have to take it in my own hands and remove that possibility from my future.
Well, you know what?
And you did take a couple people like to her for the first time that one time, right?
She's cut all of our hair several
Yeah.
times and done a fantastic job to the point where I've recommended her to other people. And now I'm like, it's game over.
I
It's
even
game
think
over,
you
baby.
recommended
Such a
her to
mystery.
me.
To you. Yeah.
And
I would have prior to this
Yeah,
incident.
and I the only reason I didn't do it is because I already have a great barber
yeah.
over at Floyd's.
And she was pretty affordable, and she's a good time. Like,
Yeah.
she's wonderful. It's just now it's like, it's just not there.
Hey, you know what?
It's not
It's
there.
all good, man.
I've sat about it. I'm sitting about it, and I'm sitting and wallowing in it.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I'm moving forward.
well,
yeah,
it
you
looks
just
great
gotta
now.
Take a change
you.
sometimes.
So I
Just like
didn't
every
shower, but-
7 years, you have to change your skincare product. You know,
Yeah.
you have
Right.
to change your barber. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of skincare,
bad.
I need to get some more soap. I'm out of soap. I've been using Dr. I was about to say Dr. Scholl's, the like foot pads. No, Dr. Squatch.
Dr. Bronner, Squatch.
Dr.
Okay.
Squatch, which is like that. You've probably seen like Instagram ads about it and stuff like that. It's like the natural like bars of soap, and their like
Oh, I did see
logo
that. I did
is
see
like
that,
the
yeah.
the Sasquatch and stuff. So I did like an Instagram deal with them, like a story thing with them over the summer, and I got 3 bars that were like great, and I love them because they're more like natural, like kind of like musky smells versus like perfumey, like any body wash you'd buy, like Old Spice and shit like that. And I really like that. My kind of like my scents that I've kind of acquired and
Tim's is
changed
stinky, yeah.
are more like natural. Like I like using essential oils and things like that. Like I got this nice little blend right here
That's hot.
that I use just little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
like some cologne.
I'm a cologne guy.
I like cologne too, and I actually really like the one that you have. You smell fucking great every time I see you. And when I embrace
bless
you,
you.
I fucking
Oh, dude, James comes up, he's like,
dude, that cut out halfway. It was like
Yeah, I was like wondering what was happening during that pause.
the gate.
Like,
I fell asleep for a second. That was my bad, you guys.
But anyways, so I'm out. Like my last bar of soap is like a speck like that thick and like this big, a little piece of soap, and I'm trying to make it last as long as I can because I have to get some more.
Yeah.
I have a bottle of Dove that's left over in my shower that I used before, but I don't want to go back on that shit, man. All the fucking chemicals in there.
God, dude,
Yeah.
It's got all that bullshit. Now, I want to circle back a little bit here, Leon, because I don't know a ton about your career and where you come from career-wise and where you started and where you're going. And I would love to hear a little bit about how you got started in your career, you know, how you got to this point and where you're headed.
Yeah. So a lot of people ask me if I have like, a fashion background, because when I first started Sharp, it was a fashion company. Did I go to fashion school or anything like that? And I said, no, not really. It's not anything like that. Is your standard route of education or experience. I actually performed as a drag king before I transitioned to male.
Cool.
I performed a lot of masculinity on stage as a drag king, and I was part of 2 drag king troupes. One was called the Lost Boys, and that was in my early 20s. And then later in my early 30s, I performed in one called the Beauty Kings, which is part of this really cool queer variety show called Bent. It was a great show that happened like maybe once a quarter, and everybody from the community in LA would come out and watch it. And through performing as a drag king, that's how I learned to fashion masculinity. Like like just the way like clothes fits on somebody who was female assigned at birth or female bodied. Like how do you make your upper body look more masculine? So there's like a lot of cut off muscle tank tops to show off your shoulders. Facial hair and all of that stuff, and just like understanding angles in bodies. It's like if you think of your body like a sculpture, and then you're building an additional piece of sculpture around it, that's how I got
It's got to complement it
Yeah. Like there's a way, the same way that you would masculinize a person's physique, you can go reverse and feminize too. So we've like suited a lot of folks. We've suited a lot of people who are non-binary, gender non-conforming, trans. We've suited Laverne Cox before, Aiden Dowling, Leo Shang from the L Word. Leo's awesome, yeah. And if you guys come and watch our premiere of the music videos that me and James and Clay worked on at the Mixtape Capsule on April 28th, then you'll get to see Leo as one of the casted as a romantic interest.
Cool. Yeah, Leo.
Yeah.
Well, very well known for being one of the main characters in the L Word Generation Q. I don't know if anybody out there, any of our listeners, watch that. But yeah, I mean, I'm so excited for that premiere April 28th. It's at 1 p.m. Pacific
PST.
time, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
1 p.m. Pacific time. Tune in. Whether if you want to register for the VIP screening, my Instagram has a link in the bio. Leon's Instagram has a link in the bio.
I'll throw that bitch in there too.
Yeah. We'll link all that stuff in the description as well, for sure. And obviously continue promoting it like nonstop. I'm so excited for that. I think it's just going to be like an amazing experience. It's going to be like so. It reminds me of like when we did The Woods and when we premiered it
it's
at the
time,
Theater. It's like, but just being able to see something you've worked on for so long presented, it's like an amazing feeling.
Yeah, and then Ashley Marie Preston's going to be hosting the premiere too, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We all love her. She's got a lot of great messages in regard to, trans lives and Black Lives Matter. Just all the shit that we've going through in the past year, like this work that we've been doing that's coming to fruition on April 28th, True Colors Day, is directly kind of like, combating all of the injustices that we've been dealing with that have been swept under the rug, but have come out over the past year. Super excited. And it's just very excited I got to work with you. Yeah, I mean,
dude.
these are
Pleasure's
way
all mine.
beyond music videos. These are like the crew's so professional. Like it's very cinematic,
Yeah.
the way it's done. Like the production value is like way beyond. It just reminds me of like 80s music videos, like how they used to put so much care and story into those videos. But now, like with today's technology, it's going to be a whole new level. I'm excited about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, music videos used to be like, equivalent to a film because like, in the 80s especially, like to make a film, it was still all shot on film. It was still like this whole process you had to do. But like as times moved on and more into like modern times, like shooting a music video can be really easy with a minimal crew, technology, and things are so much more accessible. Like, and that's kind of what a trend has become in music videos, are just these very simple things. But it was an awesome experience to like, plot out a story, have a whole concept, like produce everything properly, and put it all together. It was like I said, it was a huge creative outlet for me too, being able to like help each artist tell these stories that they wanted to tell, and like working with each artist and having them be involved creatively in the conceptual things, and like focus on the artist and telling their story and having their identity and everything shine through. Because like as a director, like it's helped me realize that like, because up until now, a lot of things that I've worked on have been things that I've written or written with friends and things like that are more like kind of personal things to me. So being able to work on projects that are personal to other people, has given me that chance as a director to like help bring
care into it as well.
Put care into it and like, and empathize with like their story, their identity and everything, and get that out on the screen and expressed in an awesome way.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys both for having me on too, because that was so fun, man. Jumping into something that was an important project, and then even just work-wise, I really loved getting to jump into an area that was, G&E, not my traditional spot, and just do it and just have a good time and work as hard as I can for something that was like important. It felt cool. The energy on the set there, it was very like everyone knew, you know what I mean? This was a special thing that was happening, and I'm really grateful to have been a part of that.
Yeah, I'm very honored to work with both of you. I mean, you guys are such great podcast personalities, but just like, that one day at the French Mansion, even though you're just doing G&E kind of work, but
It
just like how professional
that,
that you guys like are with your work. It's like, no matter what role, it was just, I just feel very honored to be able to have worked with you both.
Any fucking time. Any fucking time.
Truly.
We got to do that horror movie soon.
Yes, dude. I was just about to say, that like anything you want to make, I'm there 100%, and we're going to make it, and it's going to be awesome. Like I'm gonna just throw some love your way. Working with you this past year, it's been amazing because like not only has it been an amazing professional relationship, but it's my camera died. Look at my face.
James, no, you're still there. Wait, it moved.
Nope, it's dead.
Okay, it's dead. It's dead.
It's dead. All right, let me switch that. Let me switch that real quick and try to remember what I was saying.
Throwing some love Leon's way.
Video. Yep. Let me just put my.
Maybe the camera doesn't want you to throw love my way.
It was like, I just want to throw some love Leon's way. James. He's getting his little battery. This has been so fun, Leon. Thank you for coming on, man. It's been great, dude.
Yeah, and I just remember like me, you, and my friend Jackson, who owns the Trans Black Lives Matter school bus, and we're just sitting in the school bus. We had a little break, and we're just talking about stuff, and tiny homes, and
man,
like all the random things that we learned from each other, during this project.
Yeah. Truly, that was a fruitful amount of information to be able to talk to Jackson about that, because his life is so cool, man. Like I respect that so much, and it's terrifying, the idea of jumping into that. But then when he's there, especially the proper time and effort he took to get to where he is living, mobily like that, it was so calming, and it was like, oh shit, like this is like what he lives every day is this little piece of what I get when I go for a hike or something, and you kind of, everything that doesn't matter really fades away, and you're kind of center yourself. And he lives that every day, and you can tell it just by how he exudes himself. And it's so cool. It's so
completely
cool. Jackson's a really cool guy.
It's a very
Jackson's
spiritual.
awesome.
He's really cool guy. Good friend of mine. Just has a lot of courage driving around in that truck everywhere he goes. Right.
Yeah.
Because on the windows, the windows are all tinted black on this school bus, and on the windows it says "Black Trans Lives Matter." Very clearly in white chalk. And there's certain places sometimes you can't park overnight because of the messaging that he has on his school bus. But that to me is like, that's true activism right there,
For sure.
Facing
It's
literal
the
repercussion, you know what I mean? Like day
it's
to
like
day.
the equivalence of getting that tatted on your skin, and wherever you go, you're presenting that.
Yeah.
And that is very courageous,
their
especially
home.
at a time where like all these injustices have basically, now they all have a spotlight on them, saying like, these are the problems, this is what we need to focus on and fix. But then you have the opposition to that, people that are taking action against that, you know what I mean? Like, so it's extremely courageous. And Jackson is like an amazing person. Like, when we hung out the other night, just like hearing all of his experiences and stuff like that, like,
Oh,
dude's
yeah.
crazy.
He's done a lot. Yeah. Just like
He's been around.
yourself as well. Yeah. We've all got our fair share of, I guess, experiences, especially being trans. Like, you go through some really interesting experiences, as you and I had talked about. So right after transitioning, and for a while I wanted to go stealth and just pass and just be a dude. And, we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
There's my first, I guess, man friend was somebody that I worked with, and I don't know. I'm not going to go too much. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but it's like there's so many types of men that I could choose to be like good friends with, right? And I'm just so happy that I landed, kind of with you and your friends, super cool guys, like completely, even just working on this project, just like how quickly you guys understand things. Like, you may not know much about the trans culture, LGBTQ culture. You might know a little bit about POC culture, but like every time there is an opportunity to talk about something new, you guys just got it right away. Like, certain, I guess, not just openness, but a kind of intelligence that some people don't actually have, and that's a cool thing. And when you're doing like work like this, where you're crossing communities and crossing color lines and things like that, and you're just like working towards a passionate cause, and that is also real great activism right there, where you form like a connection or bond of people like outside your immediate communities, and
100%.
that's where we get the most like justices resolved.
And that's what you need, because it's like only so much can happen within a community, but but when it connects with other communities and other communities are welcoming of it, then like that's
and learning
when learning, exactly, like from a place of like honesty and genuineness, wanting to learn and accept, that's when the true like connection and
the movement in itself, like that's the root of it is people learning and changing and accepting and justice in a lot of ways coming to fruition, and these are little steps towards that.
And truly, like I wasn't very familiar or knowledgeable about the trans community before getting to know you so well and working with you and Jayla and other, artists and influencers and creators that we've worked with. And I'm thankful that I've had this chance to like just learn, but not learn through like research, learn through relationship, and I think that's like the best way to learn these things, is just forming genuine bonds and relationships with people in different communities, because then you're down on the ground with people, you're in it, you learn from experience. And it's so valuable, versus like, which I think it's important to read and to research and learn those things, but I find it difficult for me to read.
Yeah, James hasn't been
Just
able to
like
read. Yeah,
I haven't been able to
years.
read for years.
He hit his head
But
once.
just like
It takes
for
us
me,
a
I
lot
think
of
it's more
attention,
beneficial.
Yeah.
It's definitely more beneficial for me to learn that way, working with people. I thrive in collaborative kind of environments, whether it's creative or just whatever. Being with people face to face, talking, getting to know each other, like listening, sharing
human
my
interaction
experiences
is
and
like-
stuff. It's so vital. Like
Yeah.
that's
It's the
what I
best
think
way to
so
learn,
many
for sure.
people are missing. Like people that, I don't want to call out anybody, but people that are part of groups that are less accepting, less open, right? It all comes down to not only obviously prejudices from generations of prejudice, but the lack of kind of diversity in people that they know and that they're willing to know. Because like if someone is like prejudiced against a group of people, chances are they aren't friends with or know any people from those groups that they're prejudiced
Right.
against. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But give yourself the chance to do that, to get to know this person. And you're not, because you realize like, oh, easily I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
I know from growing up in a small town in Canada that same thing. We were not, diversified and subjected to diversity growing up because there was maybe like 99.8% of people were white where I grew up and in a small
Yeah.
town and like a little bit like country. So like you can imagine how many kids are growing up in a situation where they just don't have diversity in their world at all. So like,
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to have just been out and about in the world and exposed to all sorts of different cultures and communities to be able to learn and understand things as much as I can this far. You know what I mean? I'm still learning
Yeah.
and growing and stuff, but yeah, I get that. That's exactly it. It's them not being subjected to anything other than what they know.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's interesting though because you guys just automatically get it. I mean, sure, there's a lot of allies out there that claim, oh, I grew up in a white town, and so it's going to take some time. And there are friends of mine where it does take time for them to understand things. But you guys just get it, and
Thanks,
I don't
man.
know. I
We
just
try.
think that it's just because I know like James doesn't like to read. Otherwise, I would have like given him like 10 books as a reference.
Right,
to
right,
read
right, right.
Before
Can't read. They would have had no effect on me. I would have been looking at the pages and been like,
What does this
I
mean?
don't know
does
what
this
these
mean?
marks are.
I don't know if James told you, Clay, but right before J.A.M.E.S shoot in the French Mansion where we all met that day, I asked him, hey, can you just a little bit of homework, and Nick too, if he has time, because it's important. It's angles on shooting trans women that is really important. You can just check out episode 1 and 2 of Pose, which is television series
Love
that
Pose.
now on Netflix. Great storytelling, also
Yeah.
about the 80s. But he watched episode 1 and 2, and now he loves the whole
Got
series.
hooked.
He
Yeah,
got
yeah,
hooked. And it really was just when women and girls like they take selfies and stuff, it's always like angling the camera or the phone like up, downward to them. For trans women, it's a little bit different. It's almost like if you're face on, but then tilts a little bit lower, so you kind of have this
Like a slight low
slightly
angle.
revered perspective. And then
That's
like,
so interesting. Yeah.
we're talking about it afterwards, and James and Nick just got it right away, and James is like, yeah, kind of like Joan of Arc, and I'm like, exactly, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like with trans women, it's historically they've done so much for the community. They are the reasons why we have pride festivals these days because
Yeah.
of what they did, back on Christopher Street in New York, back in the day, the protests led to these pride festivals, and it's kind of like there is a little bit of like martyrdom there, and so that kind
Yeah.
of angle, and also it catches like the angle of the neck a little bit better,
Yeah.
feminizes in a different way, so
Right. It's being portrayed how they want to be portrayed and to show, I would assume, I guess, how to portray how they feel and how they want to to feel, right? Like to not do the opposite, find angles that exactly just do the opposite. That's very interesting because that's something that I imagine most filmmakers don't even think about.
Yeah. So
no, but I mean, right when you like suggested that, and I watched it, and like that was the perfect recommendation because obviously, you know, one show isn't gonna teach you everything about, you know, how to shoot trans people or drag queens or anything like that. But like that, as far as just a little bit of homework on my end, like I understood it enough to kind of take that and then elaborate and like learn from experience from doing it and shooting it and stuff like that. And it's interesting because it's almost like, you know, how you were saying it all started with trans women, you know, like the whole movement, all the Pride festivals started with trans women, and it's very heroic in a way. You know what I mean? Like,
that's so interesting.
It's very like
it's like a hero shot, like not an exaggerated
like
version,
shot.
but it accomplishes something maybe subconsciously.
Like the standard shot is very heroic, and I love that. And it also, I mean, for a music video, like, and especially the story we had and everything with J.A.M.E.S and how J.A.M.E.S already has this energy and
totally
like she's so like
just
intense in the best way,
owns it. Yeah.
Dude, I love working with J.A.M.E.S so much. I already really want it. Every time I talk to J.A.M.E.S, I'm always like, J.A.M.E.S, I fucking love you. I can't wait to work with you.
J.A.M.E.S was the shit. Yeah.
So talented.
Oh my God.
Crazy talented. Because like we'd be getting ready for a take and like we'd have it set up and I'd be like, how you feeling, J.A.M.E.S? And she'd be like, good. Like I'm feeling good. And then like just like kind of chill.
Yeah.
And then like we'd call action and she'd be like,
It
was crazy performance and like
cool.
one take. And I'm just there behind the monitor like,
there was a time.
Concert.
Do you remember, Leon, when after a shot was got, James was like, "Fuck yeah!" Screams.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that,
dude. I love like
so hyped.
Fucking directing a scene and being so hyped up that like what I'm seeing on the monitor, and I'm just like, I couldn't even like. This is all like you. You know what I mean? Like Jayla, this is all you. I couldn't like. I do my best to put you in like a little bit of a headspace, but you're bringing it like tenfold, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and it was amazing. I remember that time when it was like just every single take was like being at a concert. So I can't wait for people to see it. Yeah, and I remember like you have like no filter, and so it's good that you're actually a good guy because if you're an asshole, right, it would just come through.
Out.
But yeah. I mean, that was, I can't wait for the rest of the world to kind of see, you know, whoever is listening here and wants to attend on April 28th. You know, just seeing all the cuts, like it's done so well. People are so excited about it. Mm-hmm. Not just Jayla's video, but the other two as well. They're completely different, very different. And
which
shot
is great.
in a completely different way. You know, one looks very much like a short in a curated program, you know. Jayla's is probably more like a music video, but also it's got some theatrics to it, too. It's very cinematic, you know, very much kind of American Horror Story vibe / thriller.
Totally. I was definitely getting thriller vibes.
Yeah. And I don't know, the last cut with that hair... I don't want to give too much away, but you're bringing your full game to this, even though they're music videos. And, you know, I think the whole crew thought this whole time, they're really actually not just music videos. They're just, in a sense, remember I was talking about sculpting fashion on people's bodies, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in doing a certain way, it almost felt like, you know, expanding now Sharp House Entertainment and working with talented crew with you guys. We were doing essentially the same thing that we would do with a custom suit, you know, but through entertainment. It's like providing the right package around somebody. That's why these videos are so different, because they very much are of an essence of the vocal artist who's performing them. And we really did work and cater to fit these videos to their personalities, to 100%. How they identify. And so that was super cool.
I love that. And like, especially the comparison there, you know, between Sharp suiting with fashion and then Sharp House now with entertainment, like that's 100% accurate. And I think that speaks volumes to you continuing to, express yourself in that same way of wanting to do that. You know what I mean? And like now moving into this different area with entertainment, it being like the core is still there. You know what I mean? And like that's amazing. I'm stoked. April 28th, everybody. I think we're good. I mean, let's wrap this up because we've gone on for 17 hours.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I haven't even had
about
coffee.
18 hours, yeah.
17, 18 hours. Imagine a podcast, 18 hours.
3,000 ads on it on YouTube by default.
Yeah, there would easily. That'd be bank, though.
That'd be
We'd
bank,
make hella money.
though, dude.
Real quick, thank you to our sponsor for this episode, DoorDash.
Thank you, DoorDash.
For sponsoring this episode. Yeah, Leon, thank you so much, man, for being on Beyond
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you guys
we've
so
been wanting
much.
to do
I
it
love
for a
you
while.
guys.
Love you
love
too,
you, man.
bro. Absolutely. Can't wait for all the things we're going to be doing together in the future. It's
I
gonna be
can't wait for all the
crazy.
things us three are going to do together. I can't wait.
Super
Yes,
dope.
you are going to be there.
I'll be there. I'll be
Yeah.
whatever you need. I'm there.
100%, dude.
Always.
Oh, I just got a calendar message.
Oh, we have to shoot the
Little fucking
podcast.
notification. Oh, fuck.
Leon.
Oh, no. Leon, we got to go.
Just before we go here too, I just want to let everybody know for our Sugar Pine fans, I released another song with Whales Talk.
Yes.
It's called Can't Be Love, featuring the Rex. And thank you guys so much for streaming it. It's doing really well, and I couldn't be more excited. And there's a lyric video coming out maybe today, which would be yesterday for you. So if you don't know, check it out. I gotta
That's
just
awesome, dude.
finish-
I'm going to link
finish
all
it.
that shit, too.
Fuck yeah, you know it.
I'm going to put the wrong link.
Please with the wrong link. But that's all I got. Whales Talk, baby. And Leon,
That's
thank you
so
so much
stoked.
for having me a part of such a special project and for being on our podcast. I would love to have you on again. I feel like there's
Oh,
so much
yeah.
more for us to talk about you and your
Yeah.
career and everything. And I would love to have you on
Absolutely.
again sometime. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
No
totally
doubt.
down. Thank you so much.
I
So
love
honored.
like,
Of course.
and it's cool too, because when Kib and I have guests, they're usually people in a similar kind of career. They're YouTubers or they're people that are like kind of in our realm of creators and stuff like that. So it feels really refreshing to have a guest on that is not in that realm. Like that is part of a different community, a different career, and bring all that insight in. And it excites me because we should get more guests like that.
Yeah,
that are just
exactly.
not like our friends that are also
Right,
YouTubers
right.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Which is still great, and we're going to continue to do that. But just like expanding that repertoire of
Right.
guests.
Bye
I
bye
think
Joe
is really
Rogan.
right.
Bye bye Joe Rogan.
Yeah, bye Joe Rogan. We're going to have Elon Musk on.
Clan James now. We're gonna tank fucking Elon Musk stocks, man. Let's go Dogecoin, everyone. Fuck, let's raise Dogecoin.
Let's go Dogecoin. Let's go. Come on, guys. We got to get Dogecoin up by yesterday. By the time this podcast is out,
Yeah, I'm gonna log on right now.
dude, it's up to
Yeah.
34.
No way. Let me check.
$34. We're up 10,000%.
I'm never coming back.
But yeah, Leon, thank you so much, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. We love you, dude. We'll have
Love
you on
you guys
again real
too.
soon.
Love you, Leon.
Real quick, April 28th. March 28th, everybody. April 28th,
happened.
1 p.m. Pacific time. True Colors Day. Check out that whole day. They've got content, their whole event that they're doing for True Colors United. A lot of ways to donate to True Colors, which again is fighting to help end youth homelessness in the LGBTQ community. It's a very important cause, and it's awesome, and we're so stoked to be part of it. Check it out. Check out our panel. We're gonna have all of our videos premiering. It's gonna be amazing, and we'll both follow Leon. Leon, what's your socials?
Oh, it's just at Leon Elias Elias Wu WU. One
Hell yeah.
word. Yeah.
All 6 different words.
Yeah. My full name.
But
Yeah. My full
follow Leon. You guys already follow us, but we'll be promoting it and everything. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been a great
Yeah.
podcast. I love you guys.
We'll see you guys next
guys
week.
too.
Leon, thank you so much.
Take care.
See you next
Thank you,
week,
Clay.
everybody.
Bye, James.
Bye.